The concrete jungle's harsh reality. Why many are over New York, New York City. The city that never sleeps, the capital of the world, and the ultimate stage for the American dream. From the bright lights of Broadway to the soaring heights of the Empire State Building, NYC has an undeniable magnetic pull. However, for a growing number of people, the glamour is fading, replaced by a gritty, expensive, and exhausting daily grind. While millions still call it home, thousands are packing their bags and saying goodbye to the 5 boroughs. In this video, we're peeling back the curtain on the Big Apple to explore why New York is increasingly becoming a place people love to visit, but hate to live. Section 1. The brutal cost of living. If you thought California was expensive, New York City takes it to an entirely different level. It is consistently ranked as one of the most expensive cities on the planet. And for the average resident, the financial pressure is relentless. The rent trap. In Manhattan and increasingly in Brooklyn and Queens, rent prices have reached astronomical levels. Spending 50% or more of your take-home pay on a tiny, aging apartment with no laundry or dishwasher is a common reality. Space is the ultimate luxury here. What would buy you a mansion in the Midwest might only get you a 400-square-foot studio in New York. The lack of affordable housing doesn't just affect the poor. It's squeezing the middle class out of the city entirely. The New York tax on everything. In NYC, you pay a premium just to exist. Beyond the high rent, everyday items like a gallon of milk, a cocktail, or a gym membership are significantly more expensive than the national average. Then there are the hidden costs. The city's high sales tax and the unique New York City resident income tax, which is an additional tax on top of federal and state taxes just for the privilege of living within the 5 boroughs. Section 2. The grime, the smell, and the rats. One of the most immediate shocks for anyone moving to New York is the sheer lack of cleanliness in many parts of the city. Unlike many global metropolises, NYC still struggles with basic sanitation. The trash problem. Because many New York streets lack alleys, trash bags are piled directly on the sidewalks for collection. On a hot July day, the smell of fermenting garbage can become overwhelming. This mountain of waste creates a secondary problem that has become a symbol of the city's decline: an explosion in the rat population. New York's rats are legendary for their size and fearlessness, and for residents, seeing them scurrying across subway tracks or sidewalks is a daily, unwelcome occurrence. The aging subway system. The New York City subway is an engineering marvel, but it's also showing its age, and not in a charming way. Stations are often dirty, poorly ventilated, and plagued by delays. For many, the daily commute involves navigating crowded, crumbling platforms and unpredictable service, all while dealing with the general lack of maintenance that characterizes much of the city's public infrastructure. Section 3. The sensory overload, noise, and crowds. New York is famously called the city that never sleeps. But for residents, this isn't a compliment. It's a source of chronic stress. The sensory assault is constant and inescapable. The wall of noise, whether it's the constant blare of sirens, the screeching of subway brakes, or the shouting of people on the street, NYC is never quiet, even inside your apartment. Thin walls and old windows often fail to block out the urban symphony. This lack of quiet time takes a psychological toll, leading to sleep deprivation and a heightened state of irritability for many New Yorkers. No personal space, with over 8 million people packed into a small geographic area. You are never truly alone. Walking down a sidewalk in Manhattan feels like being in a slow-motion mosh pit. The lack of personal space in parks, grocery stores, and public transit can lead to New York aggression, where the daily friction of bumping into strangers turns minor inconveniences into major confrontations. Section 4. Safety concerns and public order. In recent years, the conversation around New York has shifted heavily toward public safety and the perceived decline of order in the streets and transit systems. The subway safety crisis. While statistically NYC remains safer than many other American cities, high-profile incidents on the subway have created a climate of fear. For many commuters, the presence of individuals struggling with severe mental health issues or aggressive behavior on trains has made the daily journey feel like a gamble. The feeling that anything could happen at any moment adds a layer of anxiety to what is already a stressful lifestyle. Retail theft and street crime. From the increasing frequency of shoplifting that has led to everyday items being locked behind plexiglass in pharmacies, to the rise in random street harassment, there is a growing sense that the city is becoming unruly. For families and long-time residents, this perceived lack of law and order is a primary reason to look for the exit. Section 5. The brutal weather extremes. People often romanticize fall in New York, but the reality of the city's climate is far less poetic. NYC experiences some of the most uncomfortable weather extremes in the Northeast. The concrete oven. In the summer, the urban heat island effect turns the city into a literal oven. The concrete and asphalt soak up the sun, and the humidity trapped between skyscrapers makes the air feel thick and heavy. The subway stations, often lacking air conditioning, can reach temperatures well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius, making a simple commute a health hazard. The slushy winter hell. Winter in New York isn't a soft, snowy wonderland for long. Within hours of a snowfall, the white powder turns into gray slush, a freezing salty mixture of melted snow, trash, and street grime. Navigating these deep, icy puddles at every crosswalk is a miserable rite of passage for every New Yorker, often lasting for months.